Welcome back to the TD9 podcast. I'm your host, Jay, as usual, and you see I'm here in my new spot, something that's clearly not a green screen.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions.
Marching trying to show that they're like they represent Orlando or like they represent Florida. They don't.
Will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Okay, as time goes on, you guys see more and more of these like Tesla robots. Things that are like AI inventions like ChatGPT, and now we're getting to a point where those things are being implemented into the military. So now we have an article here that shows that the Pentagon is deciding whether or not to let AI make its own decisions on taking human life. So let's check out a few passages from the article. So here it says, the development of AI-controlled drones that can make anonymous decisions about whether to kill human targets is moving closer to reality, the New York Times reported. All right. Lethal anonymous weapons that can select targets using AI are being developed by countries including the US, China, and Israel. The use of so-called killer robots would mark a disturbing development, says critics, handing life and death battlefield decisions to machines with no human input. I don't know if you guys are aware or not, it's not just drones. It's bots like this.
And another modified quadrupedal can be seen here, firing a machine gun at a shooting range in Russia. Even though these modified devices aren't yet a common feature of the battlefield, similar military models are being developed, like this one, on show at the Association of the US Army's 2021 annual conference.
Do you guys know how dangerous that is? That actually has the potential to destroy us all.
And they'll destroy us all to make it happen! Destroy us all! I'll take the chicken. Destroy us all!
Alright, we're going to move on to another article here. It states that the Pentagon inches towards letting AI control weapons. Alright, article states that last August, several dozen military drones and tank-like robots took to the skies and roads 40 miles south of Seattle. Their mission was to find terrorists suspected of hiding among several buildings. So many robots were involved in an operation that no human operator could keep an eye on all of them. So they were given instructions to find and eliminate enemy combatants when necessary. The mission was just an exercise organized by the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, a blue sky research division of the Pentagon. The robots were armed with nothing more lethal than radio transmissions designed to simulate interactions with both friendly and enemy robots. General John Murray of the U.S. Army Futures Command told an audience at the U.S. Military Academy last month that swarms of robots will force military planners, policymakers, and society to think about whether a person should make every decision using lethal force in new anonymous systems. Murray asked, is it within the human's ability to pick out which ones have to be engaged and then make 100 individual decisions? Is it even necessary to have a human in the loop, he asked. The fact that he even said that, is it necessary to have a human in the loop, that to me tells you like he doesn't value human life the way you should. And then getting humans out of it, all that's doing is taking our jobs.
They took our jobs! Yeah, they took our jobs! They did! They took our jobs! They took your jobs! They took your jobs too!
The article continues. Other comments from military commanders suggest interest in giving autonomous weapon systems more agency. At a conference on AI in the Air Force last week, Michael Kanan, director of operators for the Air Force Artificial Intelligence Accelerator at MIT. A leading voice on AI within the U.S. military said thinking is evolving. He says AI should perform more identifying and distinguishing potential targets while humans make low-level decisions. I think that's where we're going, Kanan says. Now, I could agree with that. Using drones in the military sense to go into an area, scan potential targets, but not necessarily taking the shots. But either way, that's a scary situation when you hear these drones and what they sound like. It's like the sky is screaming. All right, check this out. It's a video of how the U.S. is using micro drones deployed from this jet.
These U.S. fighter jets are releasing a swarm of micro drones.
Mark release.
They're called Perdix micro drones, and they were originally developed at the MIT Lincoln Lab. They're meant for intelligence, surveillance, and recon. 103 3D printed drones were deployed from FA-18 Super Hornets in October. This is what the swarm sounded like. The drones were given missions, and the swarm was able to perform collective decision-making and fly in formation. It was the largest swarm ever tested by the Department of Defense. Perdix aren't weaponized, but the US isn't ruling out attack swarms for the future.
At the end of the day, this brings up a lot of questions, and like who's accountable for these things. If an AI makes a decision to kill someone, is it who's responsible for it? Is it the programmers? Is it the country itself? If China does it, if Israel does it, if we do it as the U.S., who's responsible for it? There's ethical considerations. AI doesn't have the moral and reasoning skills that human beings do. To me, there's also risk of malfunctioning. Potential hacking is going to be like an arms race between different countries when this technology becomes more widespread. Also, I think that the AI may struggle between combatants and non-combatants. We don't know what this technology is going to evolve into and how far they're willing to go, because as we've seen with everything leading up to this situation, people are willing to sacrifice freedom for security, or what they perceive as security. As usual, I'm your host Jay for TD9, signing off.